Yo, what up guys, this is Retronic Guys Ketty on the Real News Talk channel. You know what the fuck to do. So this video that I want to touch on is Thea receiving hate on social media. Twitter, X, Instagram, you name it, from fans. She made a video the other day. She looked emotionally distraught, she looked upset. She was crying in the video, calling out the fans for hating on her online. Because normally she's used to fans actually praising her and all of that. But at the end of the day, what comes with the support also comes with the hate. You cannot escape the hate because a lot of celebrity figures, right? A lot of public figures go through hate regardless. And not just celebrity public figures, also regular people in general. People in general, everybody gets fucking hate. But what do? We have to embrace it and keep going. Keep moving forward. Don't try and impress everybody because you ain't going to please everyone. And I'm talking about Thea. I know Thea is a young woman. She's only 22 years old. So obviously she's going to be a little bit naive and she's going to be upset. She's going to take it to heart easily. And plus she's a woman as well. Because women, don't forget, are more emotional than men are. Men can actually take the criticism better than the women can. Because women are very emotional. They go by their emotions. They're not as logical as men are. But you do have some logical women out there. But men are more logical than women. And women are more emotional than men. So obviously, women are going to take it differently. They're going to take the hate very personal. Hence why Thea lashed out on the video that she did. But these fans have always been that way. They've always been douchebags. You should know about this. Because at the end of the day, those that hate you are your secret fans. They actually like you, but at the same time, they want to fuck with you in a bad way by putting you down because they're the ones that giving you the views and the clicks. You're getting their attention. Either way, good or bad. So you should be happy that you have haters that follow you because it makes your platform grow and indirectly they're doing you a favor by putting your name out there. Because if you weren't getting any hate, if you didn't have haters, then you must be doing something wrong. That means you're doing something right. You're doing something completely right for you to get the hate. You should embrace the hate because everybody gets hate. Even social media content creators get hate. Every person gets hate in the world. You're not going to be liked by everybody. Don't expect the whole world to like you. If they like you, cool. If they don't, fuck them. You can't impress everybody. All you can do is you. You are a WWE superstar. You're in the public eye. So obviously the hate's going to come with it. That's been going on for years and years. And it's not just wrestlers that go through it. Celebrities like movie stars, singers, actors, you name it, man. They all go through it. And some, unfortunately, even have been wiped out. They got written off by some fucking crazy fans. So-called fans, I should say. Demonic fans. Because in the past, you had actresses like Rebecca Schaeffer, who had an obsessed stalker, stalking her for 3 years until one day he decided to track her down by hiring a private investigator, paying $250. And then he took a Greyhound bus from Tucson, Arizona, all the way to Los Angeles, managed to find out where she lived, and then all of a sudden aired her out with a revolver, killing her instantly. And this was back in 1989. So this was like almost 37 years ago. At just 21 years old, Rebecca Schaeffer was when she got killed. And she was getting ready to rehearse for the new movie at the time called The Godfather Part 3, which was even more sad because she was waiting for a script to be delivered. Then, all of a sudden, this creep appears at her doorstep and she wasn't expecting anybody but a delivery guy. That's why she stayed in the house until the script was delivered so she can go to the studios and rehearse. You know what I'm saying? But it's unfortunate that she lost her life. And if that didn't happen, and she didn't have this alleged, no, not alleged, if she didn't have this stalker, right, following her up and down and eventually killing her, she would still be here today. She would be a mega star because Rebecca Schaefer was a pretty woman back then, you know. And also Christina Grimmie as well. She was also taken out by a crazed fan. So-called fan, I should say. In 2016, almost 10 years ago, almost a decade ago. It wasn't that long ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. I did a video about it during that time. When the fan was waiting in line to meet Christina Grimmie, he even had laser eye surgery. He even fixed himself up just so he can get her attention. And then when it was his turn to meet her, she opened her arms to him, you know, to go for a hug. And then he drew out a gun and shot her right in the head and in the chest. And then her brother, Christina Grimmie's brother, tackled the shooter. And then, I don't know, the shooter somehow managed to break out of the brother's hold. And then the shooter shot himself in the head. So he went out the easy way by taking her and himself out. Because he knew there was no going back after he did what he did. You see? So, at the end of the day, when you're in the public eye, you just got to be vigilant. But at the same time, you just got to keep pushing and keep doing you. And fuck what the haters say. Fuck what the critics say, because the more you cry about it, the more they're going to do it. They're going to do it even more. Until ultimately, you just, you know, deactivate your social media accounts. Maybe that's the best thing you can do. If it affects you so badly. If it affects you that bad, just come off social media. You'd be a lot more healthier, because a lot of people, right, they go through hate, they delete their account, then they come back, same old shit, and then they want to turn around and cry. No. If you can't handle the criticism, right, on social media, then don't have social media. Deactivate it permanently. Stay off social media completely. But I see why at the same time that you have a social media platform so you can make a bit of money on the side too. You know, you have it for a business. Okay, if you have it for a business, right, just don't read the comments. Don't read the comments at all. Just have it there, post what you need to post, and then that's it. Say what you need to say, and then keep it moving. You don't have to read the comments. Especially if you're flooded with so many comments. Even though there's going to be some positive comments along the way, but the negative is in the mix. You know? And even if you come across negative comments, don't let it get to you. Because these people, they don't know you past the TV. They don't know you. They don't know anything about you. Other than what they see from you on the TV. So you can't take it to heart. You really can't. You chose this path. You chose to be in the industry. Fear hell. So you got to deal with it. You got to suck it up. Crying ain't going to solve anything. It's not. Because these demonic fans are going to do it more and more. You know, we live in a very evil, dark world. Nobody gives a fuck about no one. Everybody's just out for themselves. People just want to put another person down because their lives is shit. Their lives is miserable. They're not as talented as you. You know what I mean? They can't do what you do. Some of these creepy fans are just fat motherfuckers that just sit down and eat potato chips, stuff themselves with McDonald's and all of that bullshit, and do nothing with their life. Some of these fans are obese. They can hardly move around. And you're letting these type of fans get to you? No. They're not even worth crying for or crying over. Because at the end of the day, these fans don't have a life. They're going nowhere with their lives. You get me? They're going nowhere at all. You're actually in a better position than they are. You're in a better position than these motherfuckers. You're making money. You're performing from town to town. So you're doing your thing. You've got a partner. And that. So you're good. You know? You're good. So don't let these fools put you down. Don't let them put you down. Just remember, not everybody's going to like you. And not everybody's going to hate you. Focus on the positive because we tend to focus on the negative more than the positive. The negative overrides the positive somehow with these female wrestlers. It's like they're more attracted to negative comments than positive comments. Because when you write something positive to them sometimes, they don't acknowledge that. But when you say something negative, then they want to put that hater on blast. They want to make that hater gain some sort of following. That's what you're indirectly doing. You're actually helping the hater grow. You're helping their page grow. But someone that writes something positive to you, you don't acknowledge them. That don't make no sense. You know, that means that the devil is fucking with your mind. The devil's playing tricks on you. So, Thea Hell, this is nothing new. And you're going to have more and more hate, whether it's online or offline. You might see a fan on the street and he might say, oh, fuck you, you stupid hoe, you bitch, this and that. He's going to call you all names underneath the sun. And you're just going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to deal with it. Because you're in the public eye and you chose this path. So you could choose to cry about it and let it affect you and play with your mental health. Or you can be like, you know what, fuck these motherfuckers. I'm going to keep doing me. Because at the end of the day, you don't owe these idiots nothing. You don't owe them shit. So, you know. And this goes for all the other females as well that get hate and then all of a sudden deactivate their Twitter account or what have you. No. Don't deactivate your account. Keep your account. Keep your account. Because you can't let these people get to you. You can't let these people put you down. You know? Because this is what makes this generation weak. Gen Z. And some back-end millennials too. Because some millennials are just as weak and pussified as the Gen Z generation. So I gotta put a few millennials in there too. Mainly the ones that were born in like the mid-90s, the late millennials, enter into Gen Z. I'm talking about them as well. Because they let haters get to them. And then they come online and cry about it. Oh, I'm going on a Twitter break and that. Okay, yeah, it's fine to have a Twitter break. It's good to actually come off social media and do things in the real world. That's understandable. But if you're going to let these haters get to you, right, and then turn around and cry about it, and then deactivate your account and then reactivate it later on, it don't make no sense. Because it's going to keep happening. Whether you deactivate, reactivate it, regardless, it's going to happen. The hate's still going to be there. It's not going to go anywhere. And because you have so many fans around the world, it's going to be very, very hard to not acknowledge the hate. You just got to embrace it. You got to laugh it off. And I know other women, right, when they see you in this sort of distressful mode, they will come to your defense quick. But that's not going to change a thing. Because a lot of these fans, right, are not real. They're fake. They're just pissed off, right, because they don't have a girlfriend themselves. They don't have a partner. They don't have nobody. All they've got is their right hand beating off their dick. Real talk. So that's the reason why they're taking out their frustrations out on somebody that's doing something with their life. Which is pathetic at the end of the day. Because you're winning while they're just sitting down, hating. Don't feed the haters. Make them starve. Don't respond. Don't put them on blast. Just ignore them. Until they eventually give up. Because the moment you gain their attention, they're going to think that, yeah, I've got this. I've got this person underneath. Yeah, I've got this person wrapped around my finger. Yeah, I know which buttons to press. I know which buttons to activate their mood. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Fear hell. Just keep doing your thing. That's all I can say. You're 22 years old and you're still fresh in the business and you've got a long way to go. So, the hate is not going to go anywhere. You just got to keep doing you. And if it's really affecting you that bad, get the fuck off social media completely, permanently. You know, because with this social media thing, it has been created for the good and the bad. The internet started booming around the late 90s, but social media wasn't really a thing then. It wasn't a big thing. Social media was around, but it was more, let's say, it was more limited. Do you understand? It was more limited during the early 2000s until like the time of MySpace and the early years of Facebook that came along, MSN, you name it. That's when social media started to rise. And the early days of YouTube, like 05, 06, 07, that's when social media began. And since then, it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse because a lot of people on social media are just fake. Not all of them, but the majority of people on social media are not real. They use it to disguise themselves, to create chaos, hate on other people, talk shit about other people because that's what they do best. They ain't got no talent. They ain't got nothing going for themselves in their life. So what they'd rather do is create an account and talk shit to other people, you know, calling them all sorts of names, trying to put them down, trying to make them feel some type of way, to make them feel to make themselves feel better, right? And then they have a good laugh about it, and that when you get upset and respond, you know, that's their job. That's their only job. Some of them don't even have a job. They don't have a life. They don't have no ambitions, no goals, no nothing. And you're letting these motherfuckers get to you because that's what they want. They want to see you down in the dumps. They want to see you upset. They want to see you get mad because behind the screen, they're laughing when you get mad. Some of them will even be screen recording the moment you get mad so they can watch it all over again. They can play back the time when you got angry and just have a laugh. And with these women, right, a lot of these women, when they get mad and when they get emotional and that, these same people will be laughing. Hell, I hate to say it, some of them might even be jerking off to you being upset. I'm just keeping it real. That's how sick and twisted and demented these fans are. These fans are unpredictable. You know, they're demons. They're warlocks. And their mission is to put you down because they want to see you fail. And you can't allow that to happen. So, yeah. Female wrestlers in general, they gotta have thick skin because it's not looking good. It's not looking good in your generation. You know. Because imagine back in the 80s, right? Let's say 1987. If Hulk Hogan was on social media and social media was around back in the 80s, the late 80s, and then Hogan comes online and says, "You know something, brother? I don't know why these haters keep hating on me online. You know? Because I lost to Andre the Giant. They're all hating on me, man. And I can't take it anymore, man. I need to go on vacation, brother." Imagine, yeah, if social media was active in the 80s and they had all the technology back then that they have now. Can you just imagine? Can you imagine how silly and stupid that would look on Hulk Hogan? You know? May he rest in peace. But it will look very, very silly. It'll make him look soft. You understand what I'm saying? So back then, wrestlers from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, like the baby boomers and the Gen Xers, they were the last two toughest generations in recent memory. Those generations were built differently. After Gen X, millennials, like I'd say the second part of millennials, like the ones that were born in the 90s, they just went soft. Gen Z, mega soft. Because millennials passed the torch on to Gen Z. And they took this softness to a whole new level. You understand? Because they're too sensitive. They're way too sensitive. And they've got very thin skin. Any little thing, they get upset. They get angry. You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid. It's really, really stupid. But all I can say is do your thing, Thea Hell. Just keep doing your thing. Ignore the fans. Ignore the haters. Ignore everything. Just black yourself out and focus on you. Because you're very, very talented in the ring and, you know, you've got a long way to go. So you can't allow these people to derail you from your mission. You know? You know what I'm saying? Now, even not to mention, Rihanna recently had a stalker that attempted to kill Rihanna along with her kids and her man in her mansion in California. You know? Her name was Ivana Ortiz. Yeah, Ivana Ortiz. That's the perpetrator that tried to kill Rihanna with an assault rifle. But luckily, there was like a gate that actually slowed the bullet down from piercing into the house where Rihanna was with her family. And if that gate weren't there, it could have turned fatal. You know? And right now, she's been charged with attempted murder, and she could be facing life in prison, you know? Or maybe 25 to life. It's getting scary out here. It's getting crazy. But this is nothing new. Because the same thing could have happened with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose back in 2020. If those two didn't think quick. If they didn't wake up. If there was no alarm. If there was no alarm in their house. I'd hate to think what would have happened to them. Maybe they wouldn't be here right now. But I'm glad that they are. So we live in a very selfish world. We live in a demonic world. And people are not the same anymore. There's a shift. There's a massive shift. There's a massive shift that has transpired for people to act differently. You got people that are just acting weird. People that you knew from before. You see them now, they're not the same no more. And you're like, what the fuck happened to this person? Because the world has gone cold. Everybody's just out for themselves. Which is sad because it weren't like that back in the day. You know, but unfortunately, after COVID, everybody just turned cold. You know. But yeah, that's my take on the whole Thea Hell situation. Haters are going to hate, let them hate. Because you're doing something right. Because if you weren't doing anything right, they'll have nothing to say. Then that would be a problem. If you know what I mean. So yeah, this is the Retro Kid, Retronicized Cat on the Real News Talk channel. I got nothing more to say. Stay blessed, keep it 100. Peace.